What is going on, everybody? On here, and it's time to do another video. We have some midweek slash little late in the week market news for Pokemon. So, Rising and Perfect Order Wave 2 booster boxes have finally landed at distribution. Looks like they are starting to ship out. Now, some distributors will ship them out by the warehouse when a warehouse gets everything in. Other distributors will wait for all of the warehouses to get them in. But by the end of next week, everybody in the world is going to have Wave 2 of Chaos Rising and Wave 2 of Perfect Order, in addition to Pitch Black. And this is what we call the proverbial midsummer logjam. So, in addition, Wave 2 of Pitch Black has already started to land. ETBs have landed. Three-pack blisters have landed at certain distributors. Have not heard about booster boxes yet, but I'm guessing they're probably not that far behind. So I don't know if this is a coordinated effort or it just happens to be a coincidence to get everything there and kind of clear the deck before the hype going into 30th anniversary, which would be the smart thing to do. But there is a shit pile of product coming. Now, one item I have not seen, and I have confirmed so far that nobody has a purchase order, we have seen Destin Rivals ETBs going through Target and Walmart for about 4 weeks now. And for those of you who follow the channel, when reprints happen, they hit big box first. So if you guys recall, a couple months ago, Prismatic Evolutions ETBs, Prismatic Evolutions booster bundles, then boom, we had them at distribution. Last year, multiple times, 151 poster collections, 151 booster bundles multiple times. Next thing you know, 6 to 8 weeks later, boom, we have them at distribution. So I am expecting, and I do know for a fact that they are actively printing Destined. I would anticipate a wave of Destined ETBs to hit distribution, probably sometime within the next 2 months, if I had to guess. In fact, it would shock me if we didn't see it. So that being said, now that we're in the middle of the summer, and summer comes every year, and the summer swoon in Pokemon comes every year, I am starting to see all of the PokeTubers go with the, oh my God, the sky is falling, everything's crashing, bullshit fucking thumbnails like they did last year. And it's so absolutely fucking painful because everybody who's been through this before knows what happens, knows how it ends, knows when it begins. There's no reason to put stupid fucking thumbnails up and clickbait things like, you have the fucking attention span of a goldfish. No shit. Things are going to be slow. Things are going to get slower here because there's going to be a boatload of product coming in here. I mean, from my count, there was probably 750,000 Chaos Rising booster boxes printed. That's a lot. Now, obviously, less Perfect Order, but there's about the same as a Pitch Black. That is a massive amount of market cap getting dumped into the market. Now, what am I doing about it right now? If I am a retail person who's looking to put money to work, I am buying. We are still in a raging bull market. And when you're in a raging bull market, you buy garbage because garbage tends to give you the best return. Now, obviously, in Pokemon, things changed, have been a little bit different in the past because your high quality assets have improved or have appreciated quicker. But now that Prismatic Evolutions has outpaced 151 and Ascended Heroes has outpaced Prismatic Evolutions, everybody in the world and their brother knows 30th anniversary is going to crush all of them. I would tend to stay away from high quality products as we slow down here. Now, look, you guys could do it, but from my perspective, I think Chaos Rising ETBs, Perfect Order ETBs, if the booster boxes hit, sub 180, I would probably rather own ETBs just from a return perspective, because $65 ETBs are going to double reasonably quickly as we get out of the summer swoon. Once we hit September, October, things are going to zoom again, and everybody's going to say, "Oh my God, I should have bought that." And then after Black Friday, everything is going to slow down, and then we're going to see all the idiot YouTubers with the same thumbnails. Oh my God, has the bubble popped? And Pokemon's in a bear market, and all the same stupid fucking cycle over and over again. But again, when you're in a raging bull market, you buy the garbage because it's going to outperform. And this is an opportunity for a regular retail buyer to buy as much Chaos Rising and as much Perfect Order as is humanly possible. And obviously, at least in my opinion, Chaos Rising is a better set, but Perfect Order has a much tighter print run. You might not think 12, 13, 14% is a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, it is a metric shit ton now. Chaos Rising probably has significantly higher rip velocity because of the chase card, the Greninja. So you can pick your poison. I mean, shit, you can always just diversify and buy both of them. Now, Pitch Black is coming out and it's absolutely on fire. I mean, the ETBs are 110. The booster boxes are 270, 275. The Mega Darkrai in Japanese, I think, is still $500, which is absolutely insane. But yeah, I would tend to stay away from that stuff. And again, Chaos Rising, Perfect Order, ETBs number one, booster boxes at sub 80 number two. Because I think they're going to outperform the market because again, garbage moves up, a rising tide lifts all boats, and once September hits, everything's going to take another leg up, and that's just the way the world works. So what am I doing as a store? Completely different strategy. As a store, and this is what I've been doing for the last 2 years, coming up on our second anniversary with the DBA online persona. As we get Pokemon, and a lot of the Pokemon product is selling at 2 times, 1.75 times, 2.25 times. We are churning Pokemon product because you have an immediate significant return. You have effectively untapped demand for the product as it sits today. What we're doing with the product is we are spending it on basically things that people think are garbage. A pallet or two of Foundation Jumpstart. Try to get some Assassin's Creed Beyond boosters, but those are gone. We have a pallet or two of Marvel Play coming. Marvel Play is sitting at $115, and the EV is like $125. So the singles are performing extremely well compared to the sealed product. The sell-through is also astronomical. A pallet of Avatar. I'm basically paying $119 from distribution a box, $120. The market on TCG Player is $119. Most people think it's going to be dead money. But what I can do is I can take my investment. I can just say randomly 2x it with Pokemon. Now I can don't have to take 2x. I can take my money back and I take the profit and I put it into a half pallet or a pallet of a product that I know for certain is going to be out at distribution within the next couple months. And for those of you who've watched what's happening with Magic, when things dry up at distribution, it's about a 6 to 8 week period for product to churn, and then things go parabolic. And we're not seeing reprints of playboxes coming. We're not seeing much of anything. Now, if I had to guess, they're going to hammer us with a big reprint of playboxes in Q4 because they've already said that's when their revenue is going to be light. So I would probably aim for that. And in fact, we already know that Final Fantasy Play is coming in Q4. But instead of churning Magic product at a loss just for spend and holding on to Pokemon, we're selling Pokemon, taking the gains and rolling it into Magic, which increases our allocation for the banger sets coming up. Obviously, we have the Hobbit hitting now. Reality Fracture is going to be a home run. It's going to be the last universes within set for the year. Star Trek, they're going to have to make a Star Trek one of the best sets of all time, or it's going to flop. And I don't think it's going to flop. And then going into next year, you're going to have you're going to have Return to Capenna. You're going to have whatever it is, Return to Mirage, Badass African set. You're going to have another Marvel set. Who knows? I mean, after this shit show Doomsday, you just don't know. And then you're going to have Cal Time at the end of the year. And then in between there, you're going to have 2 other Universes Beyond sets. My guess is it's either going to be a second Final Fantasy set, or it's going to be some sort of Game of Thrones. Chris Cox has bragged up and down because he can't seem to keep his fucking mouth shut about how they have a set that's going to top Final Fantasy coming next year. So there's only so many IPs that are going to do it, unless it's Harry Potter, which would be absolutely fucking hysterical after all the shit talk and all the cancel culture bullshit. To do a Harry Potter set, I would actually give them props for that. That would turn me on the cultural side of Wizards of the Coast. That would be sweet. And then we'll have another Universes Beyond set. Who knows what it is? But the last thing I will mention, because I've heard nobody mention this at all, next year is the 35th fucking anniversary for Magic the Gathering in November. And if you don't think that those motherfuckers are going to want to outdo what Pokemon's doing right now, you've got another thing coming. So now's the time to start hammering those allocations for Magic. You take the Pokemon gains, you put them into Magic, which increases your allocation for Magic, which is not a hard thing to do right now. And by the time you hit November of next year, you're churning $1 million a set, $2 million a set. And then things are absolutely fucking zooming across all distribution. So as a store, that's where my mindset is. Obviously with Bandai, there's not a whole hell of a lot that you can do. You run OP and you pray and you just hope you get as much product as possible. But at the end of the day, if you get 100 or 200 boxes of One Piece and you make $100 a box, it's a rounding error compared to what you can do with Pokemon and Magic. It is what it is. Now, Riftbound, we're going to see with this new Vendetta set if they actually just kill the game. Lorcana, they finally got things turned around, and then the dumb shits had to announce collector boosters. So who knows what's going on there. And then I do want to talk about Pal World, because I think Pal World is going to be interesting. Whether the game's good or bad, the whole concept of Pokemon with guns is going to be controversial, and I think it's going to sell boxes. So I haven't talked about that much, but I do think it's going to be cool. And the fact that one of the distributors isn't carrying it because of potential friction with Pokemon, it just makes me smile. A little bit of drama in the industry, as long as you're not involved in it, it's a fun thing. So anyway, guys, that's all I got for tonight. Like the video, subscribe, join the Discord, and we'll talk soon.